cloudy day today again. And what did I read today? Is the world going crazy? Possibly. Although the first couple of ones I read is kind of interesting. Everyone always complains there's nowhere to fly because of how strict a lot of the regulations and stuff are. How about this one though? This one says, designated public areas for flying drones to be set up. Those who enjoy flying drones can look forward to doing so at designated public areas, with the Transport Ministry accepting a panel's recommendation to provide common flying spaces to increase interest in the activity. Minister for Transport Ong Ye Kung said last Friday that more details on how such spaces will be set up and where they will be located will be settled on in the coming months. The ministry's acceptance of the recommendation comes about 2 months after they were made by the Unmanned Aircraft Systems Advisory Panel, appointed by the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore in 2019. The panel's report dated November 18th last year said setting up of these common spaces will enable recreational drone users to gather and foster a culture of safety among the community. These authorized flying areas will also give new users the assurance that they are allowed to fly their drones at these sites, the panel said. The flying area should fulfill several criteria the panel proposed. And ultimately, it just says when they're flying there, just be safe overall. Don't intrude, I guess, with other manned aircraft or people of the public. Obviously, don't fly right into their face or something like that. I think that's great to learn overall, to create environments like that. For myself, I did not learn how to fly, quote, safely by learning about things like clouds and all that. I went out there and I flew literally every single day that I could. It states here some general rules for the fields where the drones have to be lighter than 12 kilograms. I would imagine most people are flying modern day consumer camera drones, for example, so they'll be way lighter and all that. But again, that's what it should come down to. Common sense, fly safe, give them a place to practice. It should be that straightforward. Because in terms of people using this, as I mentioned yesterday, it made me think, if people didn't fearmonger it so much, what if that hiker actually carried a drone with her? Would she have survived? Because it makes you think. I just read this story here. It says, drone phone, excavator, and chainsaw used in rescue of families stranded during torrential downpour. So apparently with the way the story goes, I guess a family and a group of people went traveling somewhere, and all of a sudden the weather created an environment where they couldn't get out. So they tried to get signals with their phones to alert something like the authorities, like say, hey, we're here to help, but they couldn't get a signal. And the guy's idea was, I have a drone. So he sent like a text message, and because there's no signal, when he attached the phone to the drone and flew up in the air, eventually it got high enough to get signal, so that's how they got help. So it says here, like in the key points, a group of 4 adults and a baby became stranded in bad weather on the Karama Range Road in far north Queensland. With no mobile phone reception, a man attached his mobile phone to a drone to send an emergency text message. Emergency services reached the group the next day and urged day trippers to carry personal emergency beacons. So can you imagine that? A group of people and a baby, I guess you could say, were saved just because of the guy's quick thinking and creativity. And then by the looks of it, they had to bring in equipment and stuff like that, I guess, to clear the area to actually get them out of there. Can you imagine, like in that case, where people are constantly, nope, these things are dangerous, never fly it here. I can imagine here actually with the regulations there, uh-oh, he attached a device to his drone. That's illegal now. I mean, people need to wake up to the fact that these aren't huge manned aircrafts. Overall, people use them in a perfectly safe way. In my opinion, people should be encouraged to use drones in these ways. No remote IDs and stuff like that, in my opinion, really demonstrates making people safer or more knowledgeable. It's stuff like this. Help them get practice. And in terms of craziness, I guess I was just reading recently how in Ontario, like there's areas that have a lockdown. And I guess as you can imagine, a lot of people are protesting that as well. Like this one says, what? 3 arrested, 18 failure to comply charges laid amid Toronto anti-lockdown protests. So I guess this stuff is still a thing on this New Year's in 2021. Although reading this made me wonder, is this gonna create a huge uproar? Because this one here says, Ontario wants everyone vaccinated by early August, General says. A province-wide array stay-at-home order remains in place. I'm thinking maybe they just worded it wrong, because for a lot of the protests, to my understanding, even the ones here, it's very anti, I guess, mandatory vaccination and all that too. So with the way this is worded, I wonder if that's gonna make people really upset in terms of people on that side as well, because they want choice. That's what many people say. I wonder if that's going to be a sign of things to come. Alright, see you guys later.